Welcome back, my enlightened ones. Welcome back to my channel. It is I, Four Winds. I have a new mic tonight, so let me know if I'm too loud. I can turn it down. I'm not familiar with this mic, so this is the first time I'm really running it, so let me know. So how is everybody tonight? Jumping over to chat here just to say happy birthday to Sarah Sinister. Yes, today is her birthday. It is official. So happy birthday, Sarah. And I think Adam, which is not in here, I don't see him, but happy birthday, Adam, because I believe his birthday is actually tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Sarah, for letting me know. Welcome, Julie. Welcome back to my channel, my craziness. So it's gonna be a fun night. We're gonna be talking about Icarus and the fall of Icarus. Something just went over here. So, Chris, welcome. Great to have you. I actually just posted a new video up. It was actually a tribute, a dedication to Sarah in her birthday. And Chris, you're actually in the video. So there's a couple pictures of you in there. So if you want to check that out too, that's called Memories in the Attic is the little video short on that. Just some memories of Sarah and I and Shane and a few other people that we've experienced along with Sarah and created some good memories there. So that's great. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Lionsgate's open. Haha. 8-8 is the actual peak of the Lionsgate. This is a spiritual alignment of planets and so forth and so on. Happens every year. Believe it starts July 15th and it runs through, I believe, until August 15th, I believe it is. Anyway, so yeah, so you're going to be feeling more lethargic, more tired, more run down. So again, ground and center yourselves, and please lots of water because that will help out with that ascension sicknesses. So anyway, so Icarus, next week's class, just so bringing it to your attention, will be on Athena, the Gothic goddess of war. And I believe I'm going to be switching over at that point. We're going to be sliding over, hello, over to the Egyptians. We're going to start some Egyptian work, so that's kind of interesting there. We do have it's not a soul retrieval class, it's a oh my goodness, gotta remember it. I got so much in my head right now. So anyway, so I'll let you know by the end of the class. So what we're gonna do tonight, the first thing I'm gonna ask you guys to do is I have feathers here for you. Okay, these are the feathers. Okay, there are 10 feathers here. There is the yellow, the green, the white, the turquoise, the blue, the pink, the orange, the red, the purple, and the cobalt blue, way in the back to the right. What I want you guys to do is take a moment, take a nice deep breath in, ground and center yourselves. Take a nice deep breath in. Relax, breathe out the breath. And I want you to focus and pick out a feather that speaks to you. What I will do at the end of the class, I will be divulging what each feather means. So keep your feather color in mind. So that's kind of fun there. We're going to be doing that. Let's see here. Go back over to comments. Nobody's new. So anyway, thank you for coming and joining me tonight on this Thursday night, on my daughter's birthday night. Anybody else who stumbles along my channel later on, thank you. You're just as important for being here. Always like and subscribe if you can, so I can get my craziness out there. I have a lot to share, and I love to share. And so tonight's class, Icarus. First, we're gonna have to learn a couple of things, not just about Icarus. Icarus is the one that's falling down there into the ocean, but that is his father to the left there. Anybody else? Okay, so that's his father to the left there. Now, his father was a master builder, so we have to talk about Daedalus for a minute. Daedalus is Icarus's father, and it's funny because I was thinking about doing a class, and I actually woke up the next morning with Icarus in my head. So that's why this class came to be. So we're doing. Apparently, they wanted me to do a class on Icarus. So Daedalus is skillfully wrought. This is Icarus's father here. He's a mythical Greek inventor. He's an architect, a sculptor who was said to have built, among other things, the paradigmatic labyrinth of King Minos of Crete. That's not Minos, that's Minos. King Minos We talked about Zeus and the fickle fellow he is. King Minos is one of his sons, so that's kind of interesting to know there. Um, so anyway, just let me know if anybody else pops in because I'm going to keep over because I want everybody to do the feather. Everybody pick out a color of the feather, and yeah, let's do that. So Daedalus was trying to escape punishment after killing his nephew, Talos. Yes, he killed Talos. He killed Talos because his Talos was a fine architect as well. And he was getting a lot of acknowledgement for his thick creations and stuff. And Daedalus became jealous of him and pushed him over a cliff. See you later. Bye bye. So anyway, so Daedalus, he escaped from the king of Athens and traveled to Crete, where King Minos welcomed him. He built wonderful buildings for King Minos and created a labyrinth below the city. King Minos was pleased with the labyrinth, but he did not want anyone to know the way out of this labyrinth. So he decided that he would imprison Daedalus and Icarus to protect his secret. Now the secret is, and this is where we get some monsters going to come into play here, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so the monsters that come into play here are going to be the Minotaur. And I'm looking for a picture of the Minotaur. The Minotaur, which we're going to be learning about tonight. This labyrinth was built to contain the Minotaur, which is a pet to King Minos. But the crazy thing is King Minos's wife actually had relations with a bull, and that's where this creation came to be. But it wasn't her fault. She had a spell put on her. We're going to learn about that tonight too as well. So basically this is a stepson to King Minos. So he built this elaborate labyrinth. This is the labyrinth here, to contain the being. And the funny thing is with this being, this monitor is they actually sacrifice to the monitor 12 people every year, and it's 6 men and 6 women, and it's just crazy how this goes into play. So okay, so anybody new in here? Anybody? Yeah, isn't that crazy, sir? So anyway, yeah, had relations with the bull. I don't judge, I just read. Okay, let's read some more. All right. King Minos was pleased with the labyrinth. Okay. And again, he did not want them to escape. Okay. So Daedalus, the legendary craftsman, stands out among the great figures in Greek mythology for his amazing inventions and his masterful creative techniques, from sculptures to fortresses, from mazes to everyday inventions. Daedalus achieved fame and glory for his skill. He represents creativity, power, wisdom, knowledge, and the concept of necessity being the mother of all invention. Yes, you're going to be learning about a crazy song tonight that all you know well, and this is all dedicated to Icarus, believe it or not. And it kind of blew my mind when I found out about that. I did not know. So I thought that was quite interesting. So anyway, okay, moving on. So King Minos suspected that Icarus and Daedalus were revealed the labyrinth's secrets and imprisoned them, okay? Either in a large tower. I have one of those in here. Hang on, there it is. A large tower, I'll leave that up for you, overlooking the ocean or a labyrinth itself. Depending upon the account or where you read the myth, I have found both accounts. So I'm running with the tower because it makes more sense to me with the tower. And I also heard a yes in my head, so that's what I'm going with. Icarus and Daedalus escaped with wings. Daedalus constructed from feathers, threads, from blankets, clothes, and beeswax. Daedalus warned Icarus first of complacency, of not moving, and then he also reminded him of hubris. Hubris is feeling godlike, going above your means, instructing him to fly neither too low to the ocean because the ocean's dampness would clog his wings and pull him down into the ocean, and not to fly too high to the sun, for the sun would melt the beeswax in the wings for which he was flying. Icarus ignored Daedalus' instructions not to fly too close to the sun, causing the beeswax to melt his wings. Icarus fell from the sky. Here he is, I'm a fallen. Ah! Plunged into the sea and drowned. The myth gave rise to the idiom fly too close to the sun, so that's where that term actually comes from. In some versions of the tale, Daedalus and Icarus escaped by a ship. Now, it's funny because they have several paintings of Icarus, and I'm going to show you one of them here, and it's interesting here if I can pull it up. I have got to keep in mind, guys, I got 40 of them in front of my face here, so I gotta skim through them real quick. So I showed you that one. That's not that. And I know I put it in here. So here's another picture of them flying here. I'll leave that one up while I peruse the rest of them. Let's see here. Okay, so now it's believed that Helios, we have talked about Helios, which is the sun god of in Greek mythology, and they believe that because Icarus had such great intentions, feeling like he was a god flying so high, that Helios actually came in and melted the wax in his wings to set him straight. Here's the picture I was looking for. So anyway, in this picture, this is kind of crazy. If you look into the water there by the ship, those legs are Icarus's legs sticking out of the water. So it's kind of funny. Not much of a great picture of Icarus there. But again, they believe this, I believe, is the ship version, that he drowned from the ship. So I just wanted to share that little one there with you. So I thought that was quite interesting. So let's go here. Icarus, son of Daedalus. Wow. Daedalus, the master craftsman, Icarus is known for flying too close to the sun despite his father's warnings. This causes the wax to melt and his wings to come apart, plummeting him into the ocean to his death. Instead of freedom, Icarus flies from captivity to his death. So Icarus became, his consequences were from being overconfident, defying limitations, disobedience, not listening to his father, being overly ambitious, recklessness, and disregarding heedings, the warnings, the father's warnings. Here it is. Daedalus explained the plan to his son and cautioned him about flying carefully. If Icarus were to fly too low, Daedalus warned that the spray from the sea would wet the feathers of his wings and he would fall. If he flew too high, the sun's rays would melt the wax and Icarus would tumble into the sea. Icarus agreed to be careful, and the two took off in flight. Here we go, Geronimo. So, quite interesting, right? It's quite an interesting story. So it's still going to get a couple more little twisties in here. So it's quite interesting there. Okay. So let's take this one down. Let's go over to here. So Daedalus's punishment. Their plan worked well. Theseus, we're going to learn about Theseus for a moment. Theseus is the one that actually is going to come in and beat the Minotaur. He's going to kill it. After a long battle, he killed the beast using the thread. He went back to the door and to Adrian. Making their way quickly to his ship, they went to Athens. Daedalus was left behind to face the consequences. The King Minos was angered that anyone could. Oh, excuse me. Wow, I can't talk tonight. The King Minos was angrier than anyone could remember. He blamed Daedalus for the whole thing and dragged them both in Icarus to the door of the labyrinth. This is where you two will end your days, he screamed. So, again, this is another version of the story. The one I'm going with again tonight is them being locked up into the tower as opposed to the labyrinth. So what happened was is Thaddeus came to be a sacrifice. Okay, he actually offered himself up to become the sacrifice to the Minotaur. And the reason why he did this is because he wanted to try to defeat the Minotaur. He felt that he could defeat and beat him in battle. So they brought him there. And what happened is that King Minos's daughter fell in love with fell in love with him, and she begged Decius to help protect him. You know the way through the labyrinth. Tell him the way so he won't die in the labyrinth. The labyrinth isn't just a maze. It also has tunnels, and it's pitch black in there, and you can't see where you're going. And the Minotaur sits there and waits and jumps on you and eats you and rips you and rips you from stern to stern. It's just crazy. So anyway, so what Decius did is that he gave him a ball of twine and told him as he goes through the labyrinth to unball the twine, so when he needs to come back out, he can follow the twine back out of the labyrinth. And that was his punishment, was to be locked up into a tower. The labyrinth, Daedalus was great architect. His incredible inventions and were known throughout many lands. And when he arrived in Crete, King Minos was happy to welcome him and began to make use of his talents. For his first task was to construct a huge labyrinth so that on entering it, a person would quickly become lost and would be unable to find their way out again. Let's discuss the Minotaur, shall we? After ascending the throne on the island of Crete, King Minos, competed with his brothers as ruler. Minos prayed to the sea god Poseidon. Okay, this is Zeus's brother, okay, to send him a snow white bull as a sign of God's favor. Minos was to sacrifice the bull in honor to Poseidon, but he did not. But owing to the bull's beauty, he decided instead to keep the bull. Minos believed that the god would accept to substitute a sacrifice in its place for the white bull. To punish Minos, Poseidon made Minos' wife, Persephone, fall in love with the bull. Now you see how she gave birth to the bull. Persephone had the craftsman Daedalus fashion a hollow wooden cow, which she climbed into to mate with the bull. That's nuts. Then she bore Asturias, okay, that is the bull she mated with. Okay, the bull that she gave birth to, his name is Asterius. Okay, so the Minotaur's name is Asterius. Okay, Persephone nursed the Minotaur, but he grew to size and became ferocious. As the unnatural offspring of the woman in the beast, the Minotaur had no natural source of nourishment and thus devoured humans for sustenance. Minos, following advice from the oracle of Delphi, had Daedalus construct a gigantic labyrinth to hold the Minotaur. Um, so this is kind of interesting right here. This is actually the labyrinth, what it looks like today. This place really existed. This is what is left of the labyrinth in Crete. So I just thought I'd share that. This is what it used to look like. This is what it looks like today. The palace where King Minos actually presided at, this is actually what the palace looks like today. These were real places. These were real people. And we forget that the bull thing, and that's kind of whoo-hoo. But again, it's not my place to judge, and it's not my place I feel it in my gut, so I'm going to share it with you. So that's where we go with that one. Okay, so Theseus, here we go. Many roots were sticking out of the dirt in the labyrinth, okay? It would trip people up, and Theseus used this to his advantage. As he moved his way around the corner, he noticed his string and knew he was in one of the architect's roundabout traps. As wow, Daedalus had told him the Minotaur would have his prey thinking they were running away when they were eventually just running in circles. It was the perfect capture. Theseus used his string to his benefit here, as he knew the Minotaur eventually would. He waited until the bull man was no longer following behind him. Theseus would then attack head on. Just as planned, the Minotaur emerged in front of Theseus and was surprised when the hero suddenly charged right at him and backed him up because he was startled immensely from this. The Minotaur stumbled and fell to the ground with his root catching on one of his hoofs. Still charging at the beast, Theseus gave him a swift kick to the back, which killed him instantly. And there goes the Minotaur. Bye bye. See you later. So here we are. So this is Theseus here to the left. He is actually fighting the Minotaur. And so I'm going to leave it there while I continue on with my legend. Icarus's father, Daedalus, a very talented Athens craftsman, built a labyrinth for King Minos in Crete near the palace and imprisoned a Minotaur, a half-man, half-bull monster born on the king's wife and the Cretan bull. Minos imprisoned Daedalus himself in the labyrinth because he gave Minos's daughter, Adrian, a clue, a ball. So a clue, I guess a ball of string is called a clue, and that's CLEW, in order to help Theseus escape from the labyrinth after he defeated the Minotaur. Daedalus fashioned 2 pairs of wings out of beeswax and feathers for himself and his son before trying to escape the island. He warned his son not to fly too close to the sun nor too close to the sea, but the two to follow his path of flight. Overcome by godliness while flying, Icarus disobeyed his father and soared into the sky. He came too close to the sun, and the heat melted the beeswax, folding and holding that were holding the feathers together. One by one, Icarus's feathers fell like snowflakes. Here's another picture. This is actually another art picture of them. This was them falling. But this is kind of a cool picture because you have the labyrinth over there to the right. You have the tower. You have the ship. So it kind of still leaves you, was it a ship or what? What's going on here? Were they trapped in the labyrinth? Were they trapped in the tower? Why would you put the tower there if the tower wasn't part of this myth? So again, I just put it out there for you guys. You can decipher it for yourselves. Yes. But he realized that he had no feathers. Yes, what I called the meltdown. Let's see here. So we're gonna get to the song in a second, which is kind of crazy. But I'm just leave it here for a second here. Icarus's feathers fell like snowflakes. Icarus was flapping his wings, but he realized that he had no feathers left, and he was flapping just his bare arms. He plummeted to the sea and drowned. You can actually see him over here in the corner. This is him plummeting to the ocean. Daedalus wept for his son and called the nearest land Icaria, an island southwest of Samos, in memory of his son. Today, the supposed site of the burial of the island bears his name, and the sea near Icaria, in which he drowned, is called the Icarian Sea. Which much grief, Daedalus went to the temple of Apollo in Sicily and hung up his 2 wings as an offering to never attempt to fly again. According to the Scholia of Euripides, Icarus fashioned himself greater than Helios. He thought that he was better than Helios the sun. And that's why you see Helios here kind of melting his wings. I don't think so, my friend. And God punished him by directing his powerful rays at him, melting the beeswax afterwards. It was Helios who named the Incarneous Sea after Icarus. So Helios the sun actually named the sea after him. Writers have given variants of the escape from Crete, as I said, such as the escape was actually by boat, provided by Persephone, that is the mother that laid down with the bull, mother of the Minotaur, in which Daedalus invented the first sails to outship Minos pursuing ships, Icarus fell overboard en route to Sicily. This is the other version. They don't that he didn't fall from a tower, and he actually just fell overboard and drowned in the sea that way. Sicily, and Hercules erected a tomb for him. Um, so the sun and the fall of Icarus here, medieval Renaissance modern literature versions of Icarus's myth connection to the pantheon included the mythical tradition of the English literature. And I just thought this was interesting because all these English literatures have taken on Icarus's plight, his story, including Shakespeare, Milton, Joyce, and there are Chaucer, I believe, is another one that took it on. So that's quite interesting. So basically, in summary, here we go, people. The flight of Icarus was about a father getting punished by King Minos for making a labyrinth possible to survive. King Minos trapped Daedalus and his son Icarus in a tall, dark tower. This is my belief. Every day, feathers would drop down in the chamber because birds would fly overhead. Daedalus and Icarus built wings to help fly them out of the tower. As they started flying, Daedalus said to Icarus not to fly too high or too low. Icarus did not listen to his instructions and he flew too high in awe. Once Icarus was high enough, the wax that held his wings together started to melt because of the sun. Icarus plummeted down towards the water where he died. Daedalus took his body to Sicily, where he built a temple dedicated to the god Apollo. There he hung up his wing with feathers of Icarus's wings on it. So then this is what he said to Apollo. Perhaps Apollo let him fall. Perhaps he kissed Icarus' wings with sun-soaked lips and burnt him into legend so that he may hold him forever in a kinder world. So what I want everybody to do is I want everybody to hold up their hand. I'm going to jump over to comments real quick. Look at your hand. Look at your hands. I'm doing it. Adam Vincent, welcome. Okay, so I need to go back to my feathers. Okay, drop the hand for a second. Okay, Adam and Vincent, here we go. You need to pick a feather. Pick a color of a feather. We will discuss it at the end of the class, what each one means. So be drawn not just to the color. I want you to focus. Take a nice deep breath in. Balance yourselves and then feel which color is meant for you. And then I will read at the end of the class what each color means. So do you have the color? I'm going to leave it there for a second. Okay. I'm going to take it down now. Here we go. Taking it down. Okay, so everybody back up with their hands. I'm going to show you what's called the Apollo or the sun line in your hand. So everybody up with their hands. There we go. Okay, so the sun line is here. Okay, this is the sun line in here. Okay. You can actually see it. Mine has a bunch of branches and all this lovely stuff here. So if you want to check out what your sun line is, and I'm going to leave this up for a moment, okay? And feel free to read what it says over there on the side. So that's kind of interesting. So while you guys are doing that, I have something else I have to read here. So let's move on with this. So a young man named Icarus is a very memorable tale from ancient Greek mythology. Even today, some people recount the story as a cautionary warning. Overconfidence sometimes produces disastrous results. As I said, Icarus's father, Daedalus, he developed a reputation of being an ingenious builder. Something just flew over here. During Icarus's early childhood, his family resided in the city of Athens, a very beautiful place. Athenians enjoyed a rich cultural life. Magnificent buildings, lovely works of art, and variety of attractive handmade goods enabled many people in Athens to enjoy a comfortable lifestyle. Daedalus and his family prospered there. Life as exile, okay? This is where Daedalus is going to do away with Talos, his nephew. Daedalus was already acquired fame as a skilled inventor. Remember, Daedalus is Icarus's father. When one of his nephews joined the household, the young man, known as Talos, or Perdix is another name for him, showed great promise as a craftsman. Also, he apparently possesses more talent than Icarus. At first, Daedalus took great pride in his nephew's accomplishment, yet as most people began to appreciate Talos' abilities, Daedalus slowly grew jealous of the boy. He perhaps feared his nephew might one day surpass him as an inventor, so Daedalus finally committed a terrible deed. He punished the young man from a great he pushed, excuse me. He pushed the man from a great height, killing him. As a result of his crime, Daedalus had to leave Athens and flee into exile. His son Icarus accompanied him. The pair set out on a boat, sailed across the blue waters of the Mediterranean. They received an invitation to join King Minos of Crete. The ruler lived in a splendid palace on the lovely island of Crete. King Minos welcomed Icarus and his father to the kingdom. Daedalus had acquired fame as a builder. King Minos asked him to construct an elaborate labyrinth beneath the palace. A labyrinth is basically a maze of passages and tunnels. The structure built by Daedalus involves so much complexity, anyone entering would have enormous difficulty finding their way out. The dark secret. King Minos required the labyrinth for a sinister reason. The king used the labyrinth as a prison for a minotaur. Back to my minotaur. Where'd you go, my little fellow? Here he is. Sexy man. A fearsome creature, the Minotaur possessed the head of a bull and the body of a man. Queen Persephone of Crete had given birth to this Minotaur creature after her husband, King Minos, offended the sea god Poseidon. All right, guilt-ridden and afraid, King Minos wanted to keep the Minotaur hidden away inside the labyrinth and out of public view. So what happened is that he was given a beautiful real white bull, okay? He was supposed to sacrifice it to King Poseidon, and he did not. He sacrificed something else in his place. So King Poseidon made his wife Persephone fall in love with the white bull, and they had sex, and that's where the Minotaur came into play. As it happened, the Minotaur would have a great impact on the lives of both Daedalus and Icarus. Events unfolded in an unexpected manner. The father and son would eventually find themselves fleeing for their lives. A love story. At 7-year intervals, the people of Crete sent 14 captives from Athens. Okay, now I'm going to repeat that again. At 7-year intervals, so every 7 years, okay, the people of Crete sent 14 captives from Athens to the labyrinth for the Minotaur to eat. He eats humans. Finally, an Athenian hero named Theseus, as I said, here he is, volunteered to join the group as a victim, hoping to destroy the Minotaur. When the brave young man arrived in Crete, King Minos' daughter, Eridan fell madly in love with him. She begged Daedalus to help him find his way out of the labyrinth, where he gave a ball of twine to Theseus so he could leave the twine, like leaving breadcrumbs, but it's twine in its place so he could find his way out of the labyrinth later on. As the young man walked through the maze, he unwound the string behind him. He thought and killed the monitor. I'm going to put this back up for you guys, so in case you weren't finished reading that, my apologies. And succeeded in returning alive through the confusing labyrinth, following the trail of string. Escaping prison, King Minos felt Daedalus had betrayed his trust and ordered his guards to imprison both Daedalus and Icarus in the high tower above the palace. Daedalus feared for their lives. Okay, and there's the tower over here. He devised a plan to escape with Icarus as and they wanted to leave Crete on the journey on distant island to Sicily. The ingenious craftsman Daedalus built two sets of wings, one for himself and one for himself, fashioned from beeswax and feathers. He warned him not to fly too close to the sun. Um, so the story of hubris, the ancient Greeks called foolish arrogance or overconfidence. That's what hubris is, in case you want to know what that is. And again, never regret thy fall, O Icarus, of thy featherless flight. So the song, you guys are going to be blown away. You guys know the group Kansas? Yes, here it is. So Kansas, carry on my wayward son. They wrote this song for Icarus and Daedalus. So again, here it is. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. Once I rose above the noise and confusion just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Carry on, my wayward son. Don't you cry no more because he died. He's no longer crying to go home. So that's kind of nuts there that song from Kansas is about Icarus and Daedalus, his father. So I thought that was, quite interesting. So here's Icarus here flying. So the judgment here, each success validates our view that the universe is benign and desires for us what we desire for ourselves. Each failure comments on the unworthiness of the aspirer. As Icarus plunged into the ocean, the witnesses, dozens of them, felt in their hearts that his fall was right and just. Who did he think he was? Sniffed the ship's captain. Quite right, thought the plowman, pausing long enough for his labors to enjoy the plume, the feathers in the water, that herald Icarus's death. Only Daedalus wept, though he did not dare pause to wipe away his tears. So, I just want to go over these real quick. Feather meanings, the colors. This has nothing to do with what I'm asking you to do above here. When I asked you to pick a feather, don't try finding the answers there. It has nothing to do with this. So, nice try. All right. So, anyway, finding a white feather means that your angels are here. Black feather, angel is protecting you, energy during your spiritual awakening. Black and white, change is coming. Gray, life has been hectic, peace is arriving soon. Pink, love in the form of romance or a child is on the way. Blue, your psychic abilities are unfolding. You are called to work on behalf of spirit. And yellow, congratulations, you are on the right path. Oscar Wilde said this about Icarus, believe it or not. Never regret thy fall, O Icarus, of the fearless flight of the greatness. Tragedy of them all is to never feel the burning of the light in the first place. You never know till you try, so don't give up trying. We only fail when we stop trying. Remember, that's when the failure comes in. And this one, in this world, there are only two tragedies. One is not getting what we want, and the other is getting what we want. Remember that. Be careful what you wish for. Be grateful for what you have. Very important. So, back to my feathers. Okay. So, we're going to start off with the red feather in the back. Okay. You guys ready? You ready to go? You ready to do this? Okay, let's do this. Okay, so the red represents hunger, energy, strength, health, vitality, ambition, and assertiveness. Going over to the orange feather. This is your zest for life, your flamboyancy, curiosity, liveliness, dramatic pursuits. The turquoise is originality, imagination, complexity, and hard work. The pink is affection, love, beauty, softness, mothering, sense of security. The cobalt blue feather way in the back there is wealth, intuition, family, mystic, and deep thoughts. The yellow represents sunshine, freedom, optimism, growth, intellectualism, mental clarity, and common sense. The green represents new life, growth, renewal, harmony, social ability, peace, and giving. The blue in the front represents perseverance, patience, discipline, spirituality, wisdom, self control, reliability, and trustworthiness. The purple represents royalty, authority, leadership, individualism, artistry, sensitivity, and the white way in the back represents purity, virtue, innocence, youth, spirituality, sometimes idealism. So, what colors did you guys pick? I'm just curious to know. Oh, what's going on about a tumor? That's not good. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm going to read more on that. I'm so sorry. I will send prayers and remote healing and give me more details in a message. And I'll go ahead and do some remote healing and stuff and see what I can do too. So sorry to hear that. So, Adam, is your birthday tomorrow? Is your birthday tomorrow? Shane picked dark blue, so the dark blue, the cobalt blue color. So that's wealth, intuition, family, mystic, and deep thoughts. Interesting. So, I think you picked orange, Adam. Okay, so zest for life, flamboyancy. Sorry, curiosity, and it's no. I'm laughing because not because it says flamboyancy, because I said to myself, what color? I do this. What color is Adam going to pick tonight? And I actually said orange, and that's the color you picked. So that's why I'm laughing. So flamboyancy, curiosity, liveliness, dramatic, and pursuit. So because that's what I got for you, the energy was of you coming off of that color orange. Um, so I thought that was funny. And the flamboyancy, yeah, that's a little funny too. But anyway, but I just thought that was funny because that is the color that I actually picked for you. So anybody else? What colors did you guys pick? I think we're going to be ending the class here for tonight. It's just a short little class. As I said, we're doing Athena next week. It will be a little bit more elaborate because there is more to actually really talk about her. I did do a little video short on Icarus as well on my channel. It's called The Fall of Icarus, I believe, or something like that. Anyway, so it's also on my channel if you want. Basically, all the banners from the channel that I just shared with you tonight are actually in that video. I like to make the little video shorts to kind of go along with it. So, oh, actually, you know what? I think I have another one here that I missed. Yeah. So close the sun. Yeah, it's basically all we talked about here. So Icarus, he flew too close to the sun. Not good. So again, it's funny because it all comes back to that balance again. Finding that balance, not flying too high, not flying too low, defining that middle ground. That's it's just so crazy how it kind of just ties into the story. Now Jasmine's been on vacation with her beautiful family, and she's been trying to get the summer in because summer school days are coming and kicking in soon. So that's what she's been doing. She's been busy doing that. She actually did send Sarah a birthday present. I believe it's in the P.O. box address, which I'm going to go grab for her tomorrow. So anyway, but we thank you guys all for being with us in sending your love and in all the lovely things that you do for us. Adam, I'm going to work on that. So send me a message and hit me in direct messaging, and I'll send me a picture if you can, actually, because I do better when I can actually focus on the picture of the person, and I can continue to do remote healing that way for you. So see what I can do there. So let me know there. But I thank you all for being here tonight, and so Athena next week. Much love and many prayers to you, Adam, and your family again. But I thank you all for being here. And just remember one more thing, it's warm in here. Remember, guys, keep shining that light. Shine, shine, shine. And thank you, Julie, and everybody for being here tonight. I love you all. Good night, Chris. Good night, Adam. Good night, Vincent. And anybody else who comes along, Sarah and Shane. Love you all. Bye. See you later.